Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Car Reviews Podcast here with CollectorCarCanada.Ca. Before we get underway with this 2009 Saturn Sky Redline, I want to remind you that we also run another podcast, the Collector Car Stories Podcast. It being May 2025, it might seem like we're off to a slow start, but we'll get right on that one, and we're going to start being really ambitious about how many episodes we produce. We produced about 29 of them last year. We got weekly once we got going in June. So we're planning on the same, maybe not quite the same breakneck pace, but watch for them. Right now, there's an episode, the most recent episode, I guess it's season 2, episode 3. It's all about selling with CollectorCarCanada.Ca. So if that's something you'd like to know more about, of course, you can always check our How It Works page or information for sellers page on the website. But this podcast might be helpful for you. Now, on to today's car. Here we are seated in beautiful Brockville, Ontario. I'm not sure if you can see it in the background or not, but I'm right on the shores of the St. Lawrence. And if you can see the land across the river, well, I won't tell you what country that is because you already know. So the car today, 2009 Saturn Sky, and this is the Redline trim. So this is the one that's really juiced up. You can tell I'm in a little car right now, two-seater, two-place convertible. And this car has 260 horsepower. It's a 2-liter Ecotec with a turbo. So plenty of power for this little car at 260 factory rated horsepower. It's a low miler too. Right now the odometer's in the 33,000s. So this car is going to its new owner at under 34,000 kilometers. I'll note also that it's a US market car. The odometer reading I just gave you is in kilometers. So the mileage is naturally lower. But the digital odometer can be flicked back and forth. We've got pictures of it on the detailed listing for lot 260 with the kilometer reading. So again, it's a 2009 Saturn Sky Redline, 6-speed, I misspoke. It's a 5-speed manual, under 34,000 kilometers, green on a two-tone interior. I'll call it taupe and dark gray. So I'm going to give it a start, and then we'll move towards listening to the engine and the idle, and we'll get to a little tour of this 2009 Saturn Sky Redline. Again, it's lot 260 on CollectorCarCanada.Ca. I'll start it up. Away it goes. So the 2-liter Ecotec inline 4 with the turbo running now. I'm going to hop out of the car. We'll grab the camera you're watching me on, and we'll get up close and personal with this 2-liter Ecotec inline 4 turbocharged for a factory rating of 260 horsepower. So you could see the river in the background. Now we're treated to a freighter passing us by, and I think I read that one as being named the Federal Lexi Rose, Lexi Rose. Something to ask Dr. Google about if anyone's interested. Back to the car. So I always find it fun to find a clamshell hood. That's what I call a hood that's hinged in the front. So I've released the hood from the front, much like a 50th anniversary Corvette we currently have. There's no second release on the exterior of the car. Being that it's hinged in the front, there's no danger of it flying up while driving. And as you see, hinged in the front. So we'll get a look at the 2-liter Ecotec engine with a turbocharger, factory rated at 260 horsepower. So I'll get in close. I can see a belt running. Let's have a listen. Let's check out the other side while we're at it here. I was around General Motors cars a lot growing up as a kid, and I always appreciate it when I see Delco underneath the hood. So I was happy to see that there's an AC Delco powering this car when it starts. Here's a look. But yeah, it's a little dusty, I'll say, but quite presentable. Probably wear commensurate with the low mileage of under 34,000 kilometers. I also noticed the sky embossed on the hood insulation. But take a look at our detailed listing. We've got plenty of photos of underneath the hood there. And I'll head on back to, we can have a listen of the dual exhaust. There's a single exhaust on either side of the car. You'll see the red line in the center of that square. That denotes that this is the Redline trim. We also see it on the seat back, so I'll get to that when we get to the interior. Here's a listen to the exhaust pipe on the driver's side. All right, so I think I'll shut down the engine now. We don't need it anymore. And one last look at the 2-liter Ecotech with a factory rating of 260 horsepower. All right, so this car, of course, it's a cousin to the Pontiac Solstice. Both cars were discontinued in 2009. And so I mentioned already, this is a 2009 model. So the last year of the Saturn Sky right here in front of us, and a Redline trim, no less. One observation I had at the time, and I still make on these late 2000s GM cars, is that GM emblem right here on the lower fender of this Saturn Sky. I can picture it in the same place on the Solstice, but I think the full line of GM cars would have had it in 2009 and maybe a year or two prior. And my amateur hypothesis on that is that the boys in Detroit knew that Saturn was going to stop as a standalone brand, and it knew that Pontiac was also going to cease operations, such as it was. And I suspect it wanted the people buying new ones back in 2006 to say 2009 to reinforce that they were buying a GM product, because when it came time for another new car, they weren't going to be able to buy a new Saturn or Pontiac car. So just a neat little piece from the history of the General. I'll cruise on in. We'll save the front for when I get around to the other side of the walk around. But we've got a set of 18-inch chrome wheels. These are kitted out in a set of Goodyear Eagle F1 tires. The size at all four corners is 245, 45 R18, and those are W speed rated. And you can see the disc behind there and the exposed caliper. Four-wheel disc brakes, anti-lock system, at all four corners. So there are a few neat kind of chrome look appointments. You can see this piece on the hood, one on either side. A little bit of chrome on the front of the hood too by that Saturn emblem. And then we see a bit of a venting here. Here's a cooling vent. These are in place on both sides for the front brakes. Only available on the Redline trim and only on the front brakes with a chrome look trim. Full color coded mirrors, so matching green, and then a chrome look door handle as well. To touch, I can tell it's not metal, that's a plastic piece, as you'd probably expect in 2009. Working our way back to the 18-inch wheel in the rear. Looking closely at the first two we've looked at, I don't see any curb rash on either wheel. Again, a Goodyear Eagle F1 tire at 245, 45 R18 with the W speed rating. Mud flaps behind each of the four wheels. Again, a US car. It was originally delivered by a dealer in Florida back in 2009, and it's been in Canada since 2014. so long as I'm thinking of it, I'll show you the Registrar of Imported Vehicles decal, just to assure you that it was all imported, all on the up and up. I can see a 1 at the beginning of the VIN there to denote that it's built in the United States. There was actually a plant in Wilmington, Delaware that produced all of the Solstices and Skies. So Pontiac Solstice, the Saturn Sky's cousin, and the Saturn Sky itself. Just in case I forget, when we get to the interior, there's that Sky with the Redline emblem again I mentioned earlier on each seat back. And you can see here, I'm not going to shoot this video with the top up, but we do have pictures on our detailed listing of the top up. It's a manual top. I was actually quite amazed at how simple it was. I have the car on my own here. The owner is about 300 meters away, and I confessed to watching a 45-second YouTube video about it, but it was really easy to get up and down. Working our way back, you can see those tail lights. They're a little different from the Solstice. A few different trim appointments on the Solstice compared to the Sky. And there's that Redline emblem again to the right of the word Sky. Antenna here. Middle brake light with a clear lens, not red. And then the reverse light is a singleton right there in the center. And then there are those dual exhaust pipes on either side. As well as the Sky emblem on the rear, a reminder that we're working with turbocharged power here with the 2-liter Ecotec. And you can see the mud flaps in place. And here's our passenger's rear chrome wheel. Again, no curb rash on that one, on the 18-inch. The antenna is fixed, so that it does not raise or lower. The original audio system is still in place. So not too much different over on this side. There's that GM emblem on the lower front fender. I guess the only difference on this side is that there's no fuel door like we have on the driver's side. And here's our front right wheel. Again, no curb rash on that one, and that exposed caliper and rotor. I'll also note another chrome look appointment is the windshield surround. So that provides a little bit of contrast. Right now it provides contrast, but even more so when the black top is up and in place. Working our way around to the front. So a smart looking front end. I'll add that those smart looking headlights are complemented by the fog lights down below the bumper. And that Saturn emblem we got to know and love starting, I guess, in the early 90s, maybe even late 80s. I'd have to check with Dr. Google on that. So there's a good look at the exterior of the car with the beautiful shores of the St. Lawrence in the background. I'll cut for now and we'll move on to the interior. Okay, so I've got the car all opened up, partly because I think it looks pretty neat with the front hinged hood and rear hinged trunk, but also because I was afraid I might have misspoken when I said black top. And in fact, I did. I knew the top was color coordinated with the interior. Somehow, I thought it was the black, but in fact, it's the taupe. So there's a good look at the top. Moving our way into the car. So power group, so power locks, power mirrors, power windows. We've got cruise control managed here on the steering wheel, 3-spoke steering wheel with the airbag in the center. And there are some radio controls here. I'm gonna grab that key so that I can show you the instrumentation lit up with that low kilometer reading on the odometer. Analog gauges certainly for tach, speedo, and fuel gauge. But when I turn the key on, of course, there are going to be a bunch of warning lights on, but I'm not starting the car, that's why. But have a look on the right, and you can see Saturn Sky, door ajar. I might have to close this door to get the kilometer reading. Trunk ajar, yeah, we know. And moving on to door ajar. Maybe I'll have to do that. So we'll cut now, and I'll come back to the odometer reading. Okay, so back at it, and there's our kilometers reading, just over 33,000. So we're calling this one 34,000 because it is going to its new owner with under 34,000 kilometers. Beautiful day here in Brockville, 23 degrees. And I'll turn that key off to get rid of that display. Moving towards the center stack, 3 dials for HVAC. While the car was running earlier, I did test the air conditioning and it was blowing cold air, which is nice. For those really hot days that are too hot for a convertible, yeah, you can cool off with AC. And there's sort of a period GM head unit. Again, the factory item still in place. Clock illuminated right now despite the car not running. And here's a look at our shifter for the 5-speed manual. Black boot with the contrasting stitching, leather knob, and topped with the chrome on the knob. Over here we've got a glove box. There are some personal items in there, so I won't open it just now, but we've got some photos of it opened in the detailed list. Lot 260, the Saturn Sky Redline Convertible with 5-speed manual. Up here there's a passenger side airbag, as you might expect. Chrome look door handle just like on the driver's side, and the passenger's got access to power lock control as well as a power window and a speaker up front there. So a tidy cabin, a 2-place convertible. So not tons of space, but it makes good use of what it does have. A good look at the passenger seat with the handbrake on the foreground. And there's another look at that Saturn Sky emblem with the red line appointment to the right of the Y. And in the center here, we've got a little bit of matching the exterior finish here with the Saturn emblem there. And of course, we'd expect the driver's seat to be a little more worn than the passenger. It is the case on this car, but at 33,000 kilometers, not too much wear here on the driver's seat. A little bit of wrinkling maybe on the front, but certainly no evidence of scrapes or tears or rips. And yeah, so that's a pretty good look at the interior. I'll give you a brief look at the trunk. We've got a little bit more of it on the detailed listing, again for lot 260, the 2009. The Saturn Sky Redline Convertible with 5-speed manual. One more walk around it, and we'll move to some closing thoughts. So yeah, the green on two-tone taupe and dark gray, an understated look for the Sky, but with the 260 horsepower, it might wake a few people up, if that's your thing. Okay, on to some closing thoughts. Okay, so that'll do it for our lot 260, the Saturn Sky Redline Convertible with 5-speed manual. Again, it's sitting at under 34,000 kilometers. It's a U.S. market car, but the odometer reading I just gave you is in kilometers. Originally delivered in Florida, it's been in Canada since 2014. Again, the inline 4-cylinder turbocharged Ecotec engine was factory rated at 260 horsepower. So as much show as this car has, it comes with a lot of go for such a tidy little package in the 260 horsepower. AC functional, power group inside. All this one needs is a new owner. So watch for it on our website, lot 260 on CollectorCarCanada.Ca. That'll do it for this car review snippet. Thank you for watching, and we're going to move on to the next car.